The assumption from many was that Jose Mourinho had already lost the dressing room. Are you not taking those last 20 minutes then as proof that he hasn't?
Once you lose the dressing room, you don't get it back. And 20 minutes and 3 goals against a team second bottom of the table certainly doesn't go any way to you regaining the confidence of that dressing room. I think that confidence has been eroded over quite some time, and it's going to take at least that amount of time to get it back. I don't think Jose Mourinho has that time.
One of the more interesting parts of watching this saga unfold is just waiting for the post-match press conference from Jose Mourinho and what he's going to give us today. Well, today he gave us, I go to London tonight. If it rains in London tomorrow, it is my fault. If there are problems with negotiating Brexit, it's my fault. Shaka, your reaction to what I have to say are quotes that, while they make us laugh, they're not surprising at all.
Yeah, no, but I understand what Jose Mourinho is saying. I understand maybe what he's trying to see.
He's called it a manhunt against him.
Well, it's not. It's the press asking serious questions of a manager who many expect more of a team who many expect to be playing better, to be more pleasing on the eye, to be getting better results than they have. If you're hanging your hat again on a come-from-behind victory against a second-bottom team, at home, rightly so, there are questions. There will continue to be questions around Paul Pogba. That relationship and the unraveling of it has played out publicly, much to Jose Mourinho's and Manchester United's detriment. Continued speculation about the future of Anthony Martial. Continued speculation about the future and Alexis Sanchez's own happiness and how comfortable and how pleased he is at Old Trafford. This is your highest paid player. Once those things continue to swirl behind the scenes, as much as you take the 3 points, as much as you celebrate it, as much as this international break comes at the perfect time for that, you just don't see them going away.
Manchester United 3, Newcastle 2. Shaka, this game, half football match, half emotional roller coaster. Before the match, we were told Jose Mourinho wouldn't make it through the weekend regardless of the results. That's what the reports were. Did he save his job with those last 15 minutes? Or did his players save his job?
I think he's safe for now. I don't see how you fire Jose Mourinho not on the back of that result. At 2-0 down against Newcastle United, this Newcastle United, I'm not sure how he stays in the job past the weekend. But given the emotional turn that we witnessed in the last 15 or 20 minutes and the response of the fans in particular, I think Jose Mourinho is safe. And I think the fans have a big part to play, or a big reason why he's safe. Somehow, Manchester United's struggles has become a head-to-head in the blame game between Woodward and Mourinho. And given the result, given the response of Mourinho on the sidelines, given the response you'll expect from Mourinho in post-game press conferences, the fans will be on his side. A little bit unfairly on Woodward because, of course, he doesn't have the press available to him in much the same way. But saying that, as a result, this 3 points feels huge. It feels a lot bigger than it should, given Newcastle's struggles. Maybe once the dust settles and in the cold light of day or the cold light of a week while things kind of calm down over the international break, you look back and realize exactly how poor performance it was, exactly how happy you are to take 3 points, given the uphill climb that you gave yourself. But this is a long way from being good enough for Manchester United.
People will look at the comeback, and I think they'll probably point to that as proof that the dressing room is still with Mourinho. Could you not also, though, look at the first 10 minutes of the match, maybe the whole first half? Manchester United is down 2-0, 10 minutes in at home. Could that be viewed as proof that they're no longer with him?
Look, you can split this any which way you want. And speaking to a friend of mine who's a Manchester United fan, he put it, the way he put it was, Manchester United are a club in crisis, and that has become their brand over the last few weeks. And I'll go even further than over the last few weeks. Everything about United, from how they handle their transfer dealings late on in the window. Yes, they signed Fred very early on, but then all of a sudden you weren't quite sure what's happening. Is he coming? Is he turning them down? And then you see the football, which at times they play their best football when they've given themselves a job to do. And let's not fool ourselves here. This is a desperately poor Newcastle United. This is a Newcastle, 2 points on the table, one of them being a 0-0 with Cardiff. That tells its own story. To find yourself 2 down against this Newcastle, I'm not sure how you turn. When you're at home playing against a team of the bottom 3 and you have to make a substitution with 90 minutes on the clock, you have to yet again turn to Marouane Fellaini to save the day almost. Not on the score sheet this time around, but you look back a couple of weeks, he was the one who saved the day in the 93rd minute against Derby. This has become par for Manchester United's course. And as good as it may feel to come back, given that you felt you were dead and buried, and then all of a sudden now you leave Old Trafford with 3 points, that feels good. But when you look at the 90 minutes, when you look at this game in its entirety, how it should have gone, what's expected of a club like Manchester United, it's not good enough. And the result maybe is papering over the cracks, but those cracks are papered over now for at least another couple of weeks, in my opinion.
There you have it then. Jose Mourinho seemingly saving his job for now. It's a developing situation, as they say. For all the latest, keep it right here, ESPNFC.com. We've hit match day 8 in the Premier League campaign. Shaka Hislop, Sebastian Salazar here to get you caught up on all the action from Saturday. Shaka, Saturday actually turned into a really good day for teams playing away from home. Wolves, Everton, Bournemouth, all winning away. Spurs with a big victory against Cardiff. But let's start with the biggest game on that slate, Manchester United 3-2 against Newcastle. It wasn't just your ordinary 3-2, Shaka. It was a come-from-behind 3-2 win that seems to have saved Jose Mourinho, at least for another week.
Yeah, on the one hand, you want to say 3 points are 3 points. It almost doesn't matter how you get it. But given what we've seen from Manchester United over the course of this season, given the crisis mode it seems that this club has been under over the last couple of weeks, you felt that at Newcastle, with 2 points on the board, at home, would have been a foregone conclusion. It was anything but. Yes, Manchester United get the 3 points, but to be 2 down against Newcastle after, 15 minutes, tells its own story. There are bigger problems there for United that they need to deal with. They've got a couple of weeks just to let the dust settle a little. But they're by no means out of the woods in terms of some of the crises they've been living with over the last few weeks.
Some disappointment for Spurs midweek against Barcelona. What do you make of their bounce-back performance against Cardiff?
Well, again, 3 points are 3 points, but 1-0 against Cardiff, against a 10-man Cardiff as well. A lot of questions, a lot of decent showings. Heung-min Son, I thought, again, continued to show well. But Harry Kane, not on his score sheet. That always seems against the grain, so to speak, when Harry Kane doesn't score against the likes of a Cardiff. But a Cardiff team that have been there for the taking. And I just thought that Spurs made harder work of them. Given what we've seen from them so far this season, and in particular the last couple of weeks, given the noises kind of coming out of that camp, that some of the players may be a little bit tired post-World Cup, 3 points are 3 points, but there's a lot there to be concerned about.
Real quick, Bournemouth into 5th place with the 4-0 victory against Watford.
Incredible. I'm not quite sure how Eddie Howe continues to do it. Let's keep in mind how good Watford were just a few weeks ago. Now you go there, you're 3 up. Yes, Watford go down to 10 men, but Eddie Howe continues to perform absolute miracles with Bournemouth. Not sure where Roy Hodgson turns things around for his Crystal Palace.
So the Saturday portion of match day 8 then in the books. We await Sunday, featuring City and Liverpool. It's been now 400 plus minutes that Real Madrid have gone without a goal. Is this just part of the post-Cristiano, post-Zidane learning curve, or is this an actual real crisis at Real Madrid?
It's not a crisis just yet because Barcelona dropped points unexpectedly over the last couple of weeks. Atletico started the season poorly, so they're still in touching distance. They're joined on points with Barcelona. Barcelona do have that game in hand. So it's not a crisis just yet, but it is cause for serious concern. Given how well Real Madrid started, given how poor they've looked of late, and the question was always, when things weren't going great, who can they turn to? In the past, it's been Cristiano Ronaldo. Without him, I'm not sure who's able to carry that load. I thought it was going to be a team effort, but on the signs of things, Lopetegui's got his work cut out for him.
You see the stat there at the bottom of the screen. Not since 1985 have Real Madrid gone through a scoreless drought of this nature. At that time, the manager was sacked immediately after the fourth scoreless match. Should Real Madrid's board here be looking at Lopetegui with a similar eye?
Well, I hope not. And as much as I put absolutely nothing past Florentino Perez, given everything about how you attracted Lopetegui and it cost him his spot with the Spanish national team going into the World Cup, no. I don't think they get itchy trigger fingers. At this point, I don't see them getting overly nervous about it. Again, they're still joint on points with Barcelona. This is a long way from being crisis. Maybe others are keeping them out of crisis mode, but it's still there with more than enough time to turn things around, to get things right, to at the very least make a title result of this.
A real jam-packed situation atop the La Liga table. I know it's early, but it is only October, and Bayern Munich have already dropped 8 points this season. It's been a long time, 7 years since they didn't win the Bundesliga. Are we starting to see some cracks here in the dominance?
I think so. And you can't look much further than Niko Kovac, who comes in. It's always difficult when a new manager comes in, trying to find your feet, understand his philosophy with a team that, as good as they've been, are starting to age, and you're not sure who the real impact players are. Used to be Robin and Ribery. You can't rely on them as much as you did. Lewandowski continues to look unsettled, in my opinion. And you just can't help but wonder here for Bayern. Started the season so well, go away to Benfica, look comfortable in winning there, beat Schalke, and then all of a sudden the wheels just start to fall off. It is still very early. It's still retrievable without question, both in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League. But the performances haven't been great, and these kinds of results continue at home. I mean, before this was a draw to Augsburg. I mean, middle of the table Augsburg. That is real cause for concern. If these fans turn, I'm not sure what or who is the one that drags you back.